Have you ever been absolutely 100% sure about something, only to find out it never happened? Not a little mistake, not a maybe I forgot. I'm talking about a memory so vivid, so crystal clear, that you'd bet your life on it. And then reality slaps you in the face. You remember the Berenstain Bears. You read those books as a kid. You can see the cover in your mind right now. But here's the problem. It's not Berenstein. It's Berenstain, with an A. Go ahead. Check it. I'll wait. Your brain just broke a little, didn't it? Welcome to the Mandela Effect. And today, we're not just talking about weird coincidences. We're going deep. Because the hidden meaning behind this phenomenon might change how you see reality itself. So where did this even start? The name comes from Nelson Mandela. Thousands of people remember him dying in prison during the 1980s. They remember the funeral, the news coverage, the global mourning. Except, he didn't die. He was released in 1990, became president of South Africa, lived until 2013, and when people started comparing notes online, they realized something terrifying. They weren't alone. Millions of people shared the exact same false memory. Not similar, identical, down to the details. How is that even possible? That's the question that keeps researchers up at night. And here's where it gets interesting. Most people dismiss the Mandela effect as bad memory, move on. But what if I told you that's the most dangerous assumption you could make? Because the hidden meaning goes way deeper than forgetfulness. Let me show you. First, let's look at the patterns. It's not random. People don't misremember everything. They misremember specific things. Logos, movie lines, book titles, geography. And they misremember them in groups. Collective false memories. Not individual mistakes, shared illusions. Think about that. If memory was purely personal, purely biological, why would thousands of strangers remember the exact same wrong detail? Why does everyone remember Luke, I am your father, when the actual line is, no, I am your father? Why does everyone remember mirror, mirror on the wall, when it's actually magic mirror on the wall? Why does everyone remember a movie called Shazam, starring Sinbad as a genie, when that movie literally never existed? Sinbad himself has had to tell people on Twitter that he never made this film. And people still don't believe him. They remember renting it, watching it, the cover, the plot, a complete memory of something that never happened. How do you explain that? Here's where the hidden meaning starts to emerge. The Mandela effect isn't just about memory. It's about consensus reality. We think reality is solid, fixed, objective. But what if it's more like a Wikipedia page? What if reality itself is negotiated? Let me explain. In 2015, something bizarre happened with a children's book series, The Berenstain Bears. People found old VHS tapes, books, merchandise. Some showed Berenstein, some showed Berenstain. Different spellings. Photographic evidence of both versions existing simultaneously. Or did it? Because here's the thing about evidence in the digital age. It can be changed. Not just online, everywhere. If you control the records, you control the past. And if you control the past, you control the present. George Orwell warned us about this in 1984. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. He thought it would take totalitarian governments. But what if it's happening organically? What if reality is more fragile than we think? There's a theory in quantum physics called the many worlds interpretation. It suggests that every decision creates a parallel universe. Every choice branches reality into infinite possibilities. You chose coffee this morning. In another timeline, you chose tea. Both realities exist. Both are real. Now here's where it gets wild. What if memories can bleed between these timelines? What if your brain, that quantum computer in your skull, occasionally picks up signals from a parallel you? The you who lived in the timeline where Mandela died in prison. The you who watched Shazam with Sinbad. The you who spelled it Berenstein. And those memories feel real because in another reality they are real. You're not misremembering. You're remembering something that actually happened. Just not in this timeline. Sound crazy? But in 2019, Google achieved something called quantum supremacy. Their quantum computer performed a calculation in 200 seconds that would take the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years. It's not science fiction anymore, and quantum mechanics says reality is not fixed. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. The observer changes the observed. Consciousness literally shapes reality at the quantum level. So what happens when millions of people share the same false memory? What if collective consciousness is powerful enough to shift things? There's another theory, more psychological, but equally disturbing. It's called confabulation. Your brain hates gaps, it hates uncertainty, so it fills in the blanks, makes up details, creates coherent stories from fragments, and it does this so seamlessly that you can't tell the difference between real memory and fabricated memory. Elizabeth Loftus, the world's leading memory researcher, proved this in courtrooms. She showed that eyewitness testimony is incredibly unreliable. People can be convinced they remember things that never happened. Childhood events, car accidents, crimes. With just a few suggestive questions, she could implant entirely false memories, and the subjects would swear these memories were real. They would cry, get angry, pass lie detector tests, all remembering something that never occurred. Broken computers? Faulty recording devices? Not so fast, because confabulation explains individual false memories. It doesn't explain collective ones. Why would millions of people confabulate the exact same detail? Why Berenstein and not Berenstain? Why Luke, I am your father, and not no, I am your father? There's something else going on here, something between psychology and physics, something we don't fully understand yet. And that's the hidden meaning. The Mandela Effect is a crack in the wall, a glitch in the matrix, a moment where the curtain slips, and we see that reality might not be as solid as we thought. We build our lives on the assumption that the past is fixed, that memory is reliable, that we can trust what we see, what we remember, what we know. But what if we can't? What if every memory is a reconstruction? What if the past is being rewritten while we're not looking? Not by conspiracies, not by governments, by reality itself, by the nature of consciousness and observation, by the simple fact that we don't understand how the universe actually works. Here's another angle. Have you heard of the Mandela Effect in brands? Fruit Loops, not Fruit Loops, but millions remember fruit. Febreze, not Febreze, but millions add that extra E. Looney Tunes, not tunes, but it makes more sense as tunes, right? Cartoon characters, tunes. Your brain corrected it, made it logical. And millions of brains made the same correction. This suggests something profound about human cognition. We don't remember reality. We remember our interpretation of reality. We remember what makes sense to us. And when enough people share the same logic, the same interpretation, the same correction, it becomes indistinguishable from memory. But here's the scary part. If we can collectively misremember something as simple as a cereal name, what else are we misremembering? What about historical events? What about our own lives? What about the things we believe about ourselves? I've always been this way. I've never been good at that. I remember when this happened to me. Are you sure? Or is your brain telling you a story that makes sense? A story that protects your identity? A story that keeps you sane? The hidden meaning of the Mandela Effect is this. Reality is a collaboration. It's not out there. It's in here. In our minds, our agreements, our shared hallucinations. We think we're observing the world, but we're co-creating it. Every observation, every memory, every conversation, we're participating in the construction of reality. And sometimes, the construction has bugs, glitches, Mandela effects, little reminders that the whole thing might be more fragile than we want to admit. Now, some people take this too far. They say we're living in a simulation, that reality is a computer program, and the Mandela Effect is proof of updates, of patches, of changes to the code. Elon Musk said the chances we're in base reality are 1 in billions. Nick Bostrom at Oxford wrote the seminal paper on simulation theory. It's logically consistent. If any advanced civilization ever creates realistic simulations, there would be more simulated minds than real ones. Statistically, you're probably simulated. Does that change anything? Maybe not. But it changes everything. Because if reality is simulated, or if it's quantum, or if it's collective confabulation, the one thing we know for certain is this: we don't know. And that not knowing is the hidden meaning. The Mandela Effect is a mirror. It reflects our arrogance, our certainty, our desperate need to believe that we understand what's going on. We don't, we really don't. And that's not terrifying, that's liberating. Because if reality isn't fixed, neither are you. If the past can shift, so can your future. If memory is malleable, so is identity. If consensus reality is a collaboration, you have a vote. Every day, every choice, every thought, you're voting on what kind of world this is, what kind of person you are, what kind of future we build together. That's the real hidden meaning. Not that reality is fake, but that reality is participatory. You're not a passive observer, you're a co-author. And the Mandela Effect? It's just a footnote, a typo in the first draft, a reminder to pay attention, to question, to stay curious, because the moment you think you have it all figured out, reality might just change the spelling on you. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're absolutely sure about something, no doubt in your mind, pause, ask yourself, am I remembering what happened? Or am I remembering what makes sense? That question alone will change how you see everything. Your memories, your beliefs, your certainties. And maybe, just maybe, you'll catch a glimpse of the hidden machinery. The quantum weirdness, the collective consciousness, the simulation code, whatever's really going on behind the scenes. Because something is, the Mandela Effect proves it. Reality is stranger than we think. And you're stranger than you think. Now drop a comment below. What's your Mandela Effect? What's the memory you would bet your life on that turned out to be wrong? I read every single one. And if this broke your brain even a little, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. The simulation has glitches, and we're gonna find every single one of them. See you in the next reality, or this one. Honestly, at this point, who even knows?